Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. Today's the day we're going to go ahead and start cutting some spikes. We've enjoyed these blooms for long enough, but they've either been blooming their heads off for months and months, or they're starting to fade, or they opened up a bloom when they really have no business doing such. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that problem and all the rest of these blooms after we have one nice close look at them, and that's that. So happy day, but a sad day at the same time, and let's just get to it. So the first plant I want to look at is this Dayakia Hindersonjana. Now this spike should be covered in these blooms, but it's not, and that's because this plant isn't quite the happiest. But look how awesome that little bloom is. And I do mean little, it's tiny. But if you could imagine that whole stalk covered in those blooms, it would actually be quite a showy bloom. It really would. So that is our Dayakia Hindersonjana. And as much as I love it, this is going to be the first one that gets the snip. And that is that. So one last look at the bloom. Again, a beautiful little bloom, but that is going to be that. So the next bloom that's going to go is this. This is my Neophenesia Falcata, and one bloom dropped already. This one's going to be maybe the end of the day, tomorrow at best. And this is starting to get a little bit of a brown tinge to it. So they're starting to go. So it's time. We've got our sterilized scissors. We're going to go back in here and nip that spike right off. It was great while they lasted, but I want to see these plants push on real strong and healthy. That's why we're doing this. So, on to the next one. Next on our list is Old Faithful. I'm going to go ahead and spray these scissors down here. This is my first orchid ever. It has been in bloom for ages. It produced a spike. This is actually off of a branch of that spike, and it is just time. So, get one last look at it. This is actually a beautiful shot of it. Look at that plant. My first orchid. So this has two spikes on it. We're going to get back in here, cut this first one with this bloom, say goodbye, and we're going to get under here and cut off this other spike so it doesn't do anything crazy like try to grow again. Still has green tips on it. So that's that. Mini foul number one. We are going to move right over to its brother. This is the white foul. You guys might think I'm crazy because it's still in real stunning full bloom, but this plant has been another one. It's been in bloom for ages. I mean months and months, and it just needs a break. It really does. The last two leaves that pushed out are small, and I think that's because it's been putting too much energy in this. So without any further waiting, we're going to go ahead and get right in here, cut that thing right off. So bye bye white fowl. The last plant, but definitely not the least, is this Dendrobium Hemi Melanoglossum. And we still have 3 awesome blooms on this plant. They really are spectacular. Yellow with a deep, deep maroon lip that almost looks black. I mean, in the light in there, it's jet black. It's really neat, and I'm really happy to have this in my collection. This was suggested for me by Lynn, and I'm sorry, Lynn, but it's time. It's got to go. That's the last one. Again, our Dendrobium Hemi Melanoglossum is now officially in vegetative growth. So there we have it. Our orchids are all back to being orchids, and we just have this pile of blooms and spikes in our hands. It's a sad sight. Again, it's crazy to have to do this sometimes, but it does make sense for the well-being of the plants in the long run. I will cut a spike off very quickly, usually, if I think it's going to benefit the plant in any way, shape, or form. I would rather see the plant grow for another 2, 3, 4 years and be strong and healthy and put on beautiful bloomings like this than struggle, maybe get a bloom or two, and always wonder why my plant isn't performing. If you're always pushing the plant to bloom, you're not giving it enough time to do what it's actually supposed to do, and that is grow. So that's my video for the day. A whole bunch of spikes in my hand and a whole bunch of plants back to being just plants again. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching as always, and until next time, happy growing. So I was looking around and I realized that there's a plant that didn't quite make it into the spike cutting of the others. This is the Encyclia bractescens. It's in spike. Not anymore. The reason I'm doing this is because this plant really struggled. I lost this leaf, pushed out a new growth. This here pushed out a new growth. And what I just noticed the other day is on this side of the plant, even further back, another old bulb has started to push out a new growth. So rather than risk it, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice these blooms this year in order to get a lot of strength back into this plant. So next year we have 3 opportunities to get spikes and hopefully see these lovely blooms. That is definitely it for my video today. So thank you guys again for watching. I do appreciate it, and happy growing.